Hey Nathan, it's Friday, June 19th. Last Friday, Joe A responded to your prompt for video topics, asking us to cover current issues that no one is really talking about. So today I'm going to talk about the current situation in the Dominican Republic. The Dominican Republic is a country that takes up the eastern 5/8 of the island of Hispaniola, sharing the western half with the less prosperous Haiti. Over the past century, many Haitians have immigrated to the Dominican Republic in search of work and better life. Many pregnant Haitian women have even crossed the border to have their children there, simply due to better medical care. The stream of immigration has frequently been regarded as a problem to the government of the Dominican Republic. Back in the 90s, a massive deportation of Haitians was brought about by the Dominican authorities, with no warning. The deported were simply seized and left at the border without time to gather belongings or tell family members. Well, this time the Dominican Republic's government is trying to make it more official. The Dominican Republic's constitution grants jus soli, that is, the right to citizenship, to anyone who is born in that country. On September 23, 2013, the Dominican court ruled on the case of Dominican-born woman Juliana de Pierre. Pierre had been trying to obtain identity papers but kept being refused by local authorities due to her Haitian-sounding name, which seemed to be common practice but not official policy. So Juliana took her case to court. They ended up deciding to retroactively revoke the citizenship of all people in the Dominican Republic who were born after 1929 and who didn't have at least one Dominican parent. So mostly immigrants, but also their children and even their grandchildren. Nathan, just imagine this. Being born in a country, growing up there your whole life, learning the language and the culture, just doing typical citizen things, and then suddenly having that citizenship taken away because your grandparents came from the neighboring country decades before you were born. Now you are forced to leave your home and move to a country where you don't even speak the language and may not be able to get a job, where you basically have to start your whole life over. That sounds scary, right? This is the reality for people of all ages right now living on the island of Hispaniola. The government offered an immigrant registration program that wouldn't restore citizenship, but would lead on a long process to naturalization. Of the hundreds of thousands who are at risk of deportation, only around 10,000 were able to fully meet the requirements of the process, meaning, if I may be vague, having the right paperwork, and only about 300 have received their residency permit. And even with this process, the people would still be considered foreigners who could eventually become naturalized citizens with restricted rights. So this has led many people to refuse even applying for the process because they feel like they are true, natural-born Dominicans. Nathan, the Dominican Republic wanted to fix a complicated migratory system, and I don't blame them for that. Obviously, both they and Haiti have had problems figuring out how to regulate citizenship papers and deal with immigration. These nations are both still kind of young. But what this really sounds like, especially with retroactively taking away the citizenship of people who have lived in the Dominican Republic their entire lives as true Dominican citizens, this really sounds like a cover-up for some deep-seated, long-held anti-Haitian prejudice. I looked it up. The Dominican Republic doesn't have overflowing population issues or job problems. This is a human rights issue. Many human rights groups, plus the United Nations High Commissioner for Refugees, have urged the Dominican Republic to not deport their stateless ex-citizens. The government assures that deportation will be a slow process, a repatriation of Haitians with illegal migratory status. In reality, the Dominican Republic is rendering 500,000 people, maybe even more, stateless. And most of them have no clue what to do now. Nathan, let's hope this issue can get resolved for the better with the Dominican Republic through the efforts of the UN and human rights groups. We'll see you on Monday.